Hi, hello. Welcome to Wix Grow opening event 2025. And agenda for today, I will share and I will talk more about Wix Grow, about Wix, about Wix Grow timeline and recruitment process. Dominikas will tell more about data analytics recruitment process. Others will tell about product management guild and recruitment process. Ashley will share about UX writing, and Tomas, Laurinas, and Justas will tell more about Frontend guild, server and data engineering guilds. So let's start with Wix. At first, I will share about myself. I am Vaida. I am head of people here at Wix, and I am working here for 5 years. I started with Wix Grow from 2021, and we started Wix Grow at that year. And here we go, 2025, and we are continuing with Wix Grow, and as well adding in additional roles, not engineering, as well we have product management, UX writing, business analyst roles. So we have a very big pool of additional roles. So starting with Wix, why Wix? Wix is leading cloud-based development platform with millions of users worldwide. We make it easy for everyone to create beautiful, professional web presence. And when I'm starting about this Wix story, I like to start from my personal experience. When I was searching for a job before 5 years, for me personally, was very important to find the company that company's vision would correlate with my vision and it would be impactful for me. So I feel after 5 years as well that Wix vision is very impactful. And this is a vision about that either businesses or communities or people can create their dreams online. Wix mission is to build the best online platform for discovery, creation, and promotion of online meeting points between people, goods, and services. When talking about Wix users, we have three main parts. We have self-creators. We give tools for self-creators and users to create their dreams online, as I mentioned before about the vision. Other part is users building for others. So our users can hire either a designer or agency or partner to help to grow their businesses. And the third part is B2B partnerships. So B2B partnerships, business to business, meaning that companies, different companies and platforms can intend to offer Wix their own customers. So this is business to business partnership. So we have those three parts of Wix users. Now we are going a bit more about facts about Wix. We have 273 million of users, 22 supported languages, 2 million users, new users per month. So 2 million users, if we would imagine, it's almost all Lithuania joining every month Wix platform. We have 190 countries that Wix have users in. As well, we have 6.3 million subscriptions, and we have 5,000 employees, over 5,000 employees at Wix, and 20 global offices. Overall, as I mentioned, we have over 5,000 of employees, and we have 250 employees in Vilnius. If looking to the map and looking on our geography, we see that we have 20 offices, plenty of locations. A few points about our locations. Main engineering development R&D centers are in Lithuania, Poland, Ukraine, and Israel. Our headquarters is in Israel, And other locations have marketing, different departments, but main engineering and R&D departments are in those locations that I mentioned. Now going to Wix way and Wix culture. So our core that we say always, we say that people are the core of everything. And as well, I love one of the values that we have, that we build the best products in the world. And talking about that, I remember as well one story when I was joining Wix 5 years ago, and I came to a winter party. And there was one of our colleagues from Israel, and he asked me, Vaida, do you know what company you are joining in? And my answer was, sure, I know, it's Wix. And he said that, Vaida, you will be working in the company that build the best products in the world. And actually that sparkle in the eyes and that belief created the feeling for me that what we are creating, we really believe into this, and 5 years passed and I still feel that. So I'm really proud of this. Going through the parts and Wix way of doing things and values, so one of those is being a pro, being a professional. We believe that excellent people create excellent things. As well, ownership is a very important part of our culture. And ownership means that it's not given, you need to claim it, and you need to work towards that. As well, other part about the failures, that if you will not try things, we believe that you will not find the right one. So it's better out of 10 things that you try, to fail in 6 and then to find this one very good thing, instead of going with one direction, one thing that you choose, and then at the end you find out that this wasn't the right idea. So trying and searching for the solutions, it's our way of doing things. As well, we work for our users' success, and our users, as I mentioned before, our vision is to help our users to create their dreams online. So all teams working towards our users' success, that's for sure. And one of other parts about no assholes, so it's very important to mention that we believe in transparent and open communication. On the other hand, we believe as well that it have to be and must to be respectful. And the last thing about having fun, so this is a cherry on top, because having fun and spending time together with teams create this innovative and creative environment that we can create a very great things together. Going to the Wix way of hiring and the way we hire, so we believe, first of all, that skills goes over titles. We believe in skills, so when I will share about our interviews, in the interviews we have test assignments where we test skills. And going into motivation, my personal belief that most important part in going into a professional journey is motivation. To understand yourself, to have this self-reflection and to understand why I am doing things that I am doing. So we test and we check the motivation part, as well going into a part that to each their own path, that we need to find, and it's reflected and it's connected with motivation, that we need to find our own path. We need to follow our inner motivation where we want to go. And then we believe in fresh and diverse perspectives, and we search for the people with different opinions, with diverse backgrounds, and this is about our way of hiring. Going into Wix structure, we have going into the philosophy about the structure. So we believe in flexibility and fast moving pace. And in this environment, when things are moving very fast, our structure helps because our structure divided into teams and into guilds. It's a matrix structure. And teams are like a small startups. It's divided by the product parts. As an example, you can see it's as example blog, events, forms, and as well in a matrix we have guilds, as example server, frontend, product, and guilds helps to cover professional groups. Each professional group having their community, and community helps with learning, with development, with common guidelines about quality, and so on. And each team have a variety, like a startup, as I mentioned, have a variety of professions. Have product manager and developers and all the roles that could be included into a small startup. And in addition to the companies, those small groups and small teams, guilds, as well we have departments. Departments covers, and in the slide you see the examples, legal, people, marketing, IT, security, and it covers like umbrella, additional organizational departments. Going into guilds and telling a bit more about guilds. I already mentioned that it covers professional development, it covers training, enhancement, and people and employees from professional group can choose up to 20% of their time to improve their skills. It's a great opportunity for our professionals to use this time, and guilds helps to create this framework. So they have their freedom to bring their own ideas, to have development tools. They have their professional internal community. And as well, they can share their best practices and good habits. So stopping here and finishing with the part about Wix, I will go more into details about Wix Grow, the timeline, and how recruitment process will look like. So here we go. Wix Grow timeline, and going into more details. We have the range of time from February 10th until March 23rd of March. We are accepting applications. 13th of March, we have an opening event. After that, we are starting to send home assignments. Home assignments will be sent from 13th of March till 31st of March. After that, coming in technical and HR interviews. And stopping here, I want to mention that technical and HR interviews and the timelines will differ by the guild. Because, as I mentioned before, we have a variety of different positions where we are hiring to, so each guild will present and will share their exact timelines and their exact recruitment process. After that, in May, we will be having job offers, and we will be giving job offers to selected candidates, and in June, program begins. Going into recruitment process, as I mentioned before, each of the guilds and each of the professions will share their timelines and the recruitment process, but all of those will have the same flow. At first, there will be a home assignment that we will send. After that, selected candidates will come to the technical interviews. And after this step, we will invite selected candidates to HR interview. And the last step will be, of course, job offer, and we will invite you to join Wix. A bit more about each step. I will cover not how, I will cover more around why. We are having one or other step. Talking about home assignment, we have this part because of we want to test your professional skills. I mentioned that our Wix way of hiring is skills over titles. So in this step, we are measuring your professional skills needed for the role. Other part why we need this step is home assignment is the main tool to evaluate professional skills part. And home assignments will be sent in the coming days following the opening event. Other step is technical interviews. So technical interviews will be up to 2 hours. It will depend by the guild, by the profession, but it will be up to 2 hours. And this part is 2 ways. One way is, of course, to get for us to get know you, and other way around as well for you to get know us, to get know Wix. And we want to test in this part, test your problem-solving skills, test your ability to communicate ideas. And the interview will be held by 2 engineers in engineering part, where we will select server, front-end, and data engineers. And others will tell more about their technical interview flow. And the last part and the last step will be HR interview. So in this part as well, the main reason why we are having this talk is to get know you better, on both sides, for you to get know better us, as well to align expectations. This is a very important part, to align what expectations do you have, and assess as well motivation, to understand motivation. Introduce Wix culture, and understand, as we divided into teams, understand what team fits the best. And this interview, it's up to 1 hour. And then finally, job offer stage comes in. So how internship will look like? This is 6 months fixed term contract. Salary range is between 1,200 to 1,500 euros gross. And we are searching for the interns who would be able to join for at least 30 hours per week. Meaning 30, from 30 to 40. Maybe for summertime you will be able to join full-time, but this is the range. And how the program will look like? So as I mentioned before, it's 6 months. So we will have for you prepared onboarding and training plan. You will have dedicated mentor, experienced mentor. As well, you will be working in teams with real products. And after 6 months and after the program ends, you will have opportunity to get a permanent position, and when the program will be finished successfully. So it will depend on the results after the program. And now the question, which part will guilds cover? So I covered the beginning and how the flow will look like. So guilds will share more in depth about home assignments, how the home assignment will look like, what to expect, and the other part, technical interviews, how the technical interviews will look like, and as well what to expect. So thank you, and going further into guilds presentations.
Hello, I'm Dominikas. I'm gonna present you a data analyst internship today. I'm managing a group of analysts here in Vilnius. And first of all, I want to say that Wix is a data-driven company. And by data-driven, I mean that every decision we are doing is based on data. Every feature we are trying is A/B tested. We have hundreds of different dashboards, and each day starts with numbers by looking at our daily KPIs from yesterday. And in order to achieve that, we need data analysts, of course. And what data analysts do here? So first of all, they are analyzing user behavior. And by analyzing user behavior, I mean they are analyzing the clicks our users are doing, looking for patterns inside these clicks, trying to find the most used features and so on. And what's better to test if some feature is actually improving our product is to A/B test it. And in A/B testing, it's basically displaying two different versions, and analysts calculating which version performs better, how users are acting differently in both versions, calculating the significance in changes between them, and deciding which one is better at the end. But just like raw data is not enough, right? Like, it's hard to look at the raw data. So analysts are visualization experts as well. Why? Because we need to transfer that hard to understand complex data into something visual, so our stakeholders could easily understand what we want to say, what we want to show. And right, so we have charts, we have analysis and so on. How to make it clear is basically you need to put everything into a story. So by putting it into a story, you can influence how the product changes. So it sounds a lot, right? But don't worry, because we have Analysts Guild, and Analysts Guild helps with professional training. It encourages knowledge sharing between each other and encourages learning from others. And that's it about the profession itself. Let's talk now about the home assignment and how all the interview process will be. So what we're going to talk today is about this part, which starts with preliminary test and ends with technical interview. I already told you about applying phase. So we'll talk about that analysts part. And that starts with preliminary test. So for that, you will receive an email from Canditech. It will have a link inside it, and you just need to open it and start solving. What you will find inside, it's a single choice test where you will need to answer using basic math and logic to 30 questions you will have, around 30. And it will be limited to 25 minutes. So don't forget that test you can take only once, and you will have 25 minutes to solve it after starting it. And the deadline to finish it is March 25th. Another test is a home assignment, and that's the bigger one. For that, you will as well receive an email from Canditech. You will get it on March 26th after successfully completing the preliminary test. It will have the same link. You will need to open it. Inside of it, you will find instructions, clear instructions, what we expect from it. You will see attached data set, which we want you to analyze. The task will be to segment our users based on their behavior. It will reflect what we expect from data analyst. Then you will need to suggest some business insights on what can we do with these, your discovered segments. And we will ask you to submit your analysis in PDF as slides. Tools you can use for data analysis part, you can use anything you want. It can be Python, it can be Excel, R, or Google Sheets, anything, Tableau, Power BI, anything you are comfortable with. And for the slides as well, you can use PowerPoint or Google Slides. So if you feel academic, you can use LaTeX. Again, anything. It's not about tools, it's about analysis. So the task itself expected to last somewhere between 3 and 5 hours, but we are giving 7 days to complete. So let's say you finished analyzing. Now it's the technical part, how to submit. Remember the email from Canditech? It will have the same link. you will need to open the very same email. It will have a link inside it, and it will lead you, like it will still be working for that 7 days. You will be able to open it, and you will see some basic questions about the data set you received. For example, the amount of rows in the data set. It's not necessarily the question inside, but it might be. So you will need to answer it, and just to upload your analysis in PDF with the upload file button. So again, there is no time limit for the home assignment. You can submit only once. That keep in mind. And the deadline for the home assignment is April 1st. About technical interviews, what can you expect from the technical interviews is, of course, you will get to know Wix. We will talk about your home assignment task and like how you analyze the data, how you got to these segments. You can get some challenging questions about it. And of course, to talk about you, your studies, your career, if you already have one, your experience and expectations. And if I want to remind you the timeline roughly, so we are talking after the applying. So on from March 13, you will start receiving the preliminary test, which will take 25 minutes for you to solve. Then March 25th is the last day to submit it. On March 26th, if you successfully solve the preliminary test, you will get a home assignment. And on April 1st will be the last day to submit the home assignment. So good luck with the tasks, and I hope you will enjoy the process.
Hi, my name is Adas. I'm leading the product guild here at Wix Lithuania, and I joined Wix 7 years ago. Back then, it was the first time Wix was hiring a product manager here in Lithuania. I felt severely underqualified. That was also the year that Trump got elected the first time. And I thought that if that guy can make it, I should at least try. And to my surprise, no one really cared about what I have been doing before. What they really cared about was whether I have what it takes to do product at Wix. And the ultimate answer to this question was, and still is, whether you can crack the homework assignment. The homework assignment that I got was a really difficult one. I thought that I'm not going to make it. But as a former Eminem fan, I remembered the lyrics from one of his songs, is that if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, I realized that this is the shot I need to take. And 7 years ago, I'm still here. I'm sharing this not to brag, maybe just a little bit, but I really want to convey a very important message. We don't care what you did before. We're going to hire you not based on your previous title. We're going to hire you based on how well you cracked your homework assignment. And speaking about homework assignments, we're actually going to give you 2 homework assignments. The first one is going to be an easy one. We basically want to see how you express your thoughts, whether you can logically say a few meaningful things, or whether you can justify some of your decisions. And then there's going to be the hard one, the one that you're going to want to listen to Eminem Lose Yourself. So the first task is going to be the video-based exercise. In it, we'll ask you to pretend that you're a product manager at Wix who recently launched a feature, and then you're going to be presented with a few scenarios. In the first one, you're going to hear a few user complaints or some feedback items. Then in the next one, a data analyst, a business analyst, your partner in data analysis is going to share some counterintuitive findings, so you need to hypothesize why we have such a counterintuitive results. And then in the third scenario, you're going to participate in a discussion between designer and engineer on what is the best way to move forward with this feature. Again, this exercise doesn't have right or wrong answers, and we are well aware that none of you have product management experience. It's going to be very unfamiliar situations for you, and that's fine. Like, I've been 7 years here in Wix, and it's still every week I face some unfamiliar challenges. So we want to put you in the shoes of everyday PM and experience what it means to face some uncertainties and still kind of try to figure out, what's the best way to move forward. So this is going to be, again, the easy one. It's not a high bar to clear. We just want to see whether you understand business in general and whether you can explain your thoughts in a way that we can understand. Very low bar to clear. And the second task is going to be the really difficult one. In it, you're going to be presented with a real problem that our users have in Wix, and there is a feature request for that, and we'll ask you to crack it. And by that, we mean that you'll need to build mid-fidelity wireframes that sort of outline the full scope of the solution, from the beginning of when the user encounters this new feature till the end, meaning that when the user gets the value out of this feature. There's going to be more details in the task description, so don't worry. But again, it's not going to be an easy task. It's probably going to be one of the hardest homework assignments you ever get in your career, and it's probably going to stay true for the following 5 years. But all of the PMs that we hired have cracked this assignment, so we believe that some of you will do. Honestly, there is a chance that probably no one of you is going to fully crack the homework assignment, but that's fine. Some of you are going to show some tendency to a good intuition about business, about product. Some of you will will start demonstrating a good product sense, and that's what we want to find. This is going to be some early signs that you can be a good product manager, and it's going to be our pleasure to harness those skills for you at Wix. So again, 2 homework assignments, the easy one and the really difficult one. And to maybe help you a bit to get into the mood of how we do product at Wix, maybe there are 2 more things that I want to share with you. So first, let's talk about generally Wix product strategy. And it's going to be also a bit of a history lesson. So as you all know, Wix started as a website builder, and for some long period of time, our growth strategy was sort of do the verticals. By that, I mean that every time a big number of users wanted to fulfill certain business vertical online, for instance, write a blog post, sell products online, start services online, we would assemble a team, we would let them own this domain, and then they would build an app or a solution to our users. And we have a few dozen of solutions like that. But as you can notice or feel or anticipate, it's something that cannot scale this way indefinitely, because all the business verticals or all the business needs are becoming a bit nicher and nicher. You cannot keep assembling a new team for every niche domain. So what we realize is that we need to start opening up our platform so that users can code or in a no-code way to fulfill those missing requirements themselves. What we also notice, without putting much effort in it, that some of our users started making sites for others, and they started getting really good pay from it. What we also realized from the market is, despite our best efforts to make the website building a breeze, and despite all of the competitors, still most of the sites in the world are being created by professionals. So what it led us to realize that we also need to tailor our product for those professionals without losing the self-creators who's the backbone of Wix. So that's why we recently launched Wix Studio. That's why we are offering more and more capabilities for professionals to build the site the way they want to build. And then we thought that we realized a new growth trajectory, and everything seemed fine and reasonable. And then AI happened. And I have to admit, this probably was the moment where I haven't seen management this much excited about the new technology. We did some early tests, and we got super positive results. So that's why we're now doubling down on many AI initiatives. You would see that pretty much every other team in Wix is either rewriting their product to be AI native, AI first, or incorporate some of AI capabilities. And I'm feeling even more excited now than I was when I joined Wix 7 years ago. Another thing that is important for you to mention is maybe how we generally approach the product. So it all starts with the research. One of the main jobs that we do at Wix is talking to users. We really need to bring the voice of the user to the team. We also like saying that our boss is not the company, our boss is actually the user. But we're not blind to user needs. You remember this famous saying of Henry Ford, that if I asked people what they want, they would tell me faster horses. And at Wix, we don't want to build faster horses. We want to build the cars that people love. Then talking to users isn't enough. It gives us like some qualitative insights, but we also need to analyze some data and discover patterns there. And it's usually the BA, business analysts, who are helping us with those questions. Then we are not blind to the competition. We need to be aware, not in an obsessed way, what to do to understand our positioning. And once we sort of complete this research of users, data, and market, then we need to clarify a very clear problem that we want to tackle. Because if we don't have a clear problem, we're going to waste our limited time. Once we know the problem, then we collaborate with the designers, with engineers to come up with a solution. Usually PM leads the effort by building the mid-fidelity wireframes of outlining how that solution looks like. Then designers usually take it over. They build the spec. Engineers start working in parallel. We are also the company where we don't write specs. Like that's we don't do acceptance criteria on Jira tickets. Usually it's up to engineers to figure out how they want to approach the product that you have defined. Once we have a working solution, you're making a decision whether you want to launch it to users, and usually we're doing it through an A/B test. Basically, we're opening the feature to half of our users, and we're measuring how that feature is performing. Are our users getting more sales? Are they getting better conversions? Are they buying more premium? That basically proves if our feature is actually solving the user value, because it's not the feature that we wanted to launch, it's the problem of a user that we wanted to solve. So once we do that, we also sometimes talk to users to validate that yes, this is exactly what they wanted, and it really helps them solve the problem. This is again going to be the case for the first homework assignment, where you're going to be presented with a case after the feature was launched. So yeah, this is a very rough outline of how we do product at Wix, and I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I am the head of the UX writers at Wix in Vilnius. And Wix UX writing is really pivotal to the user experience. And this year, we're beginning our first cohort of UX writer internships in Vilnius. And I'd like to share a bit about what UX writing really is, and also, if you choose to apply, to show you a little bit more about the process. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to do a little bit of talking about what UX writing is and the interview process here. So about UX writing, a little bit about it at Wix. Our mission is to support the delivery of excellent products, okay? And that's at a high velocity to drive acquisition and help user success, and company growth with text that's consistent and helps the user along their journey. And to achieve this, our goal has always been to uphold quality standards, finding and developing star writers, while fostering a strong Wix writers community, and that can support all of our companies and all of our products. And with over 185 writers at Wix, we're doing things like writing things for help articles and doing technical writing as well as UX. And around 60 of our writers are in fact UX writers. And we write all of the content for Wix in US English because that's our largest speaking audience, with about 40% of our users being located there. And we translate our product into 20 different account languages, plus 16 additional viewer languages. So that's over 36 languages and over 25 million words per year that we're looking at. And we're all over the world. We have many writers in Israel, but here in Vilnius, we're a really growing team. We're currently 5 and hoping to be 6 soon. And we cover over a dozen products. And Wix has one of the largest UX writing communities in the world. And I'm pretty confident to say we're the largest UX writing team in Lithuania. So what about writing at its core? So let's look at it in the simplest terms. Words are an integral part of the user experience. You can't get much done without them. And the way you say something makes a big difference. I love this cartoon. It highlights how it's all in the words. A combination of solar and wind power. She's not wrong. And so as UX writers, we look at the design and we see a blank canvas. And we work alongside our product teams, that would be with UX designers, with product managers and other stakeholders, to find the right content to convey the right message. And then we localize it to markets around the world, adapting and focusing the content and the needs of the country. So UX writing is all about conversation. So who are we writing for, right? We need to know everything about our products and the users and their needs. So it's our job to explain what the product is, why it's relevant, and how it could be beneficial for them, and how could they interact with it. So what does all that mean, right? Well, first, we're not copywriters, and I just wanted to mention this because copywriters are writing to help people buy or engage, basically to make money, while UX writers, we're focused on people and their needs. And UX writing is specifically for digital products. And most importantly for us at Wix, UX writing is for everyone. We write for everyone, from developers and agencies to people and families of all genders, some with accessibility or disability issues, and for all generations. UX writers have a lot to consider when they write, okay? So here are the few of the most important things. I know there's a lot, but it's really about our voice and tone, how we sound on the product. This includes our ability to be consistent, inclusive, and accessible. We think of the user and their place in the journey, right? How they got where they are right now and where they want to go. And we use things like information architecture and hierarchy as well to get to those places. So what are we looking for and with our core principles and writers at Wix? Remember, we make products easier to use by crafting conversations with our users. We need to understand their pain points so that we can solve them. And we write for the web, which is different than writing for paper. People skim, and we need to make sure that we get the most important information out there to them. And a good UX writer answers three questions. What? What is the product? So what? Why should the user care? And now what? What should the next action be for the user? Here's a great example on just one of the many pages on Wix. You can tell there's a lot of work to be done. So let's talk a little bit about the interview process. Once you apply, you'll have a home assignment. Then hopefully you'll move forward and you'll have an in-person interview and then later an HR interview. So let's talk about the home assignment. You'll be given a chance to show your skills and writing for a few UI elements, and you'll be able to share why you chose the text you chose. You'll also record a short video about what UX writing is and how it helps our users. Then, hopefully, once you have passed that portion, you'll do an in-person interview. So what happens in the in-person interview? Well, we'll talk a little bit about you. We'd like to know why you'd like to be a UX writer. And we're going to talk about your mini-task. And don't worry about that now. You'll get it later. And we'll talk a bit about Wix and what your life would be like here on the day-to-day. So what do we expect from you, though? We expect that you can explain why you would like to be a UX writer and that you can present your home assignment clearly. And most importantly of all, we want you to be able to articulate your opinions about your content and the content of others. And I just need to mention here, you also need to be able to speak and write in native level English. So if there's anything that I've said here that you didn't quite understand, you might not be ready for this program yet. So final thing is to remember, you don't need to know all the answers, right? But you need to be open to being challenged. You need to be able to be confident enough to speak up and give your ideas, but also to have the humility to know when your content choices might not be the best. So thanks, that's how we wrap it up here, and we can't wait to meet you soon. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Laurinas, Backend Guild Manager at Wix.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm managing the Frontend Guild at Wix.
And we're here to tell you about the internship recruitment process in Wix Grow 2025. So before I begin talking to you about the internship program, let me tell you a little bit about Wix at Vilnius. We have about 200 engineers here, and it's a significant R&D center for Wix. We have product teams which are working on client features on the Wix platform, like events, invoices, blogs. We have infra teams which are working on developer tooling, infra stuff, and libraries. We have teams which we call special project teams, which are doing a lot of R&D, POC stuff. And as I said, we are an important part of Wix company. So let me tell you about how we do our work here every day. So for Frontend, we mainly use TypeScript and JavaScript with React. For Backend, we mostly write code using Scala or Node. And for data engineering, of course, it's Python. But that doesn't mean that you have to know any of these languages when you start your internship. We expect you to be willing to learn them, and it's up to us to teach you. So feel free to apply and don't get discouraged if any of these technologies are strange for you. So next, I wanted to talk to you about our engineering culture. It's for us, engineering community is very important. We do weekly guild days at Wix, where we meet inside our guilds and share knowledge, share our experiences, learn new things, do workshops, practice coding, etc. We also do a lot of events. We organize conferences. We do community meetups like Vilnius.js, JUG, or our own Wix engineering brand. And of course, we don't forget to have fun. So we organize fun activities like fun days. Engineering culture is not just about events and activities we do. It's about how we write code and what best practices we follow. It's really important for us to test and automate everything because it not only just reduces the number of bugs we cause, and reduce the repetitive work, but it also allows us to change our code quickly and without the fear of breaking things. We also value simple code over smart because it allows us to write important things quickly, and mainly because other programmers will read our code later, and it's very important to allow them to understand it quickly. So also, we don't expect our programmers to know everything and have a lot of system design experience, but we do expect applicants to know the things they use. So if you use some programming language, so we expect you to be able to understand and reason about your code and follow the best practices, not only the ones we mentioned, but also the ones you learn at university or from some literature. So when speaking about learning, we expect you to be looking for opportunities and be willing to face challenges. And it's not that we expect our employees to work 24/7, have their pet projects or special interests, although it's an interesting activities, but we don't require our applicants to have these in their resume. And one last thing, and probably the most important, is communication. We don't expect our candidates to be extroverts, but we do expect you to be able to freely exchange your ideas, also be proactive and reach out to your colleagues, tell about your roadblocks, and be willing to face your challenges and be motivated to find solutions by yourself. Also, one hard requirement, you should be able to talk and write in English because we are an international company and we do most of our communicating in English. So now, to talk about the recruitment process, I invite my colleague Thomas on stage.
Thank you, Laurinas. Moving on to the recruitment process. So first thing I want to emphasize on that we have a single process for front-end, back-end, and data engineers. In later stages, your role and team will be determined based on your technical knowledge, on your performance in the process, and of course, your personal preferences. So this is how basically the technical evaluation process looks like. It consists of 3 parts, which are online exam, on-site exam, and technical interview. You must successfully pass each part in order to advance to the next one. First part is the online exam. In order to receive the online exam, you need to sign up and submit your application. The easiest way to do it is through our program Wix Grow website. So visit www.wixgrow.lt and you will find their Apply Now button. Click the button, submit your details, and we're going to receive your application. In the website, you can also find some necessary and general information about the program. You can see some success stories from the past, FAQ, and more. After submitting your application, you will receive an email with instructions about the online exam and a unique link which was generated for you. The ones who applied before the opening event are going to receive the email on March 13, so mark the date. And the ones who are going to apply after the opening event should receive the email in 24 hours. Important to mention, you can open the link as many times as needed, but the test can be only done once. As soon as you begin the exam, the timer will start, giving you up to 2.5 hours to complete it. Be sure to plan your time wisely. Make sure your computer is connected to the power source, check your internet connection is stable, and so on. In addition, you're going to need your webcam to record some answers. So make sure you have it and check it before you start. Lastly, as I mentioned, you can take the exam only once. After you click Final Submit or the timer exceeds, the link will no longer work. We understand that 2.5 hours can be intense and exhausting, but don't worry, there will be 10-minute breaks in between. So let's look into the online exam structure, what you should expect from it. There's going to be a quiz. It's 10 questions. You're going to have 10 minutes to answer those questions. There's going to be a few coding tasks that shouldn't take longer than 2 hours. And there's going to be some video questions. Usually it's a follow-up for the coding task to explain the implementation or answer additional details. Don't worry if you don't solve them all fully. Give it your best and submit as much as you can solve. Looking into quiz, there's going to be simply 10 questions to answer. There's going to be choices. You have to select one, the right one, and you're going to have 10 minutes to complete this, basically 1 minute for each question. Coding task, you'll be redirected to a specific online editor that consists of the details of the exam, the description, the test cases that you need to complete and implement, and there's going to be VS Code-like online editor that supports multiple programming languages. As you can see, the most popular ones, C#, Java, JavaScript, Python, and so on. So you can choose and use any of those. Feel free to and use the one that you are the most comfortable with. And there's also a run button, as you can see here, so do not hesitate to click it. It's gonna run your code against the test cases listed in the description. You could do it as many times as you want. It's not gonna hurt your final result. This, as I mentioned, there can be multiple of such exercises, but in total, they shouldn't take more than 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. And lastly, video questions. It's usually a follow-up of the previously mentioned coding task. So you should expect some sort of a question to explain what was your implementation, or maybe additional implementation. What would you change? What would you do differently? How would you expand your code, and so on. You will have to use your webcam to record the video, but keep in mind you can do it multiple times. If you don't like the video that you recorded, or if you don't like your answer, you can retake it, and it's not going to be sent anywhere until you click submit. And lastly, those videos will be kept private. We would like to encourage you to think for yourself, give it your best, don't cheat, submit your solution even if it's not complete. It's still gonna, if something is complete, it's still gonna give score, and it's gonna be important for the final evaluation. And we really want to discourage you using AI tools such as ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Copilot. The system, the online exam system, is pretty smart. It's tracking multiple things there. It's tracking your progress and using other smart techniques to detect cheating. So if we find you're cheating, you're going to be eliminated from the process. So be fair and honest. Looking into the timeline, as I said, you will start receiving online exams starting from March 13, and you will have around 10 days to complete them. You can start them at any day before the final date, which is March 24, as I mentioned. And this is also the last day to submit your exercise. After this part is done, on March 31st, we're going to start doing the on-site exams. And Laurynas is going to tell about this more. And the very last stage, starting on April 7, we're going to do technical interviews.
After you complete the online exam, the next step will be the on-site exam. So what is it? So the selected few will be invited to our office in Vilnius, Didžioji 28, where you will be sat down in the meeting room together with other applicants, and you will have to solve some coding tasks. And you might be asked to solve some non-coding tasks as well. What is it? Let me keep it a secret right now. And lastly, what I want to tell you is not to worry about any of the equipment. Everything will be provided for you, so you have to just come to our office and have this exam, which will be about 90 minutes long. And after that, there's one more step left. It's the technical interviews, which Thomas will explain to you.
So last part are the technical interviews. So as Laurynas mentioned, some of you will be invited to the technical interviews. Not all of you, the best ones will be invited. So what should you expect in those? It's roughly 1 hour interview. There will be 2 engineers participating in. They're very experienced and professional in the field. They have all the things objectively evaluate your knowledge and potential. So what's going to happen in that interview? Simply, we're going to talk a little about you. We're going to talk a little about Wix, and we'll do some live coding. So what do we expect from you in that interview? We obviously expect you to be able to write code in one of the programming languages that you used before in the previous steps. That involves different problem-solving skills, even the very basic ones, such as simple algorithms or code improvements. You should also be able to express yourself clearly and reason about your code, why you did one or another solution. You should be comfortable using your tools, such as IDE, programming language, libraries, and any other things that you use for day-to-day programming. Now, what you should expect from this interview. We will be asking a lot of questions during the interview about different things. Some questions might look obvious, some questions might look stupid. Don't be thrown away by those. We're here to figure out your knowledge in different topics and where it ends. It's okay not to know all the answers. Try to think about it, try to come up with the answer. Think about it like you would try to explain to your friend the answer. Express your train of thoughts, think out loud, and so on. The most important thing, try to relax during the interview and keep talking. We understand that these interviews can be stressful and intimidating. Again, our interviewers are very experienced. They did hundreds of such interviews, and it's the 4th year we're doing the program, and we're polished it towards cause minimal stress during the process. Unfortunately, we won't be able to provide detailed feedback for everyone, since there are hundreds of applications and there will be hundreds of online exam submissions. To provide the detailed feedback, it requires a lot of time and effort, so it's just impossible to do it. Thank you for listening, and good luck.
And see you soon.